Hey everyone, we're gonna be doing an exercise here. We're about to close on a deal, and we're looking to find the survey. I hope y'all learned something from this, and we have Jonathan here and George on the line.
How's it going, guys? All right. Well, yeah. So one of the things I wanted to talk about real quick is just surveys. It's been a lot of times where I've had to close properties and have either A, at the last minute, the title company has required a survey to get something done, whether it was a land or a house. There was just some issues that came up and they needed a survey done. And sometimes, you're at the mercy of you got a couple of days left or a few days left, and sometimes some of these survey companies can't get to it in time. And or could be an additional expense, but a lot of times you can reach out to the sellers, and sometimes they'll have them, sometimes they won't. In this particular deal, they closed on this property over 20 years ago. So the lady, of course, the couple, the husband and wife, they went through a divorce, and so they have no records. They can't recall where they closed at or where this survey would even be. Of course, with it being a conventional loan, there was a requirement to have a survey done. So there was a survey at some point in time. So in my previous experience, I was more, I guess, doing a lot of deals in a local community. So you had maybe a handful of maybe 4 or 5 different title companies. So what I would always do is just reach out to the title company that I was closing with, and then they would kind of do their things behind the scenes to try to go find me a survey or locate a survey. And it was kind of like I would just leave it to them and say, hey, if y'all can figure it out, great. And sometimes, they would actually locate a survey, and everything would be fine and we could get it closed and we have a survey on file to satisfy either A, the lender if needed, or B, the title company if they were requiring it. So it was kind of on the back end, it's like they handled that whole process. And I really didn't worry about it or get into the details of how they discovered that survey, um, until recently when I had this deal where we were in a lawsuit on, and it was like we got through the litigation, we got through the lawsuit, all of that. There was a settlement reached, and then the next thing was to sell the house. Well, we went through several different title companies, had a different runaround. We had a lot of issues. That's a whole nother story. But we got to the last title company, and the very last thing was the survey. Well, of course, since the litigation involved the family, no one was talking, so no one had these documents of this survey that would have been required by Wells Fargo. So, it was my best effort, like, hey, how can I locate this thing in the heart of Houston? I don't know how many title companies, probably well over 100, maybe well over 500 different title companies. So it's like, well, I'm not going to go call all of these title companies to locate one survey just to satisfy the title company that we're with to get it closed. So it was kind of like, well, let me go figure this out. How can I find a title or the survey to satisfy the title company? So we're gonna do a run through on this property. So this is a property um, in Montgomery County. So I'm just gonna go through just a deep dive of how this can be done. We might locate it, we might not, but we're gonna definitely go through the process of what you would do to try to get one. So I'm gonna go ahead here and let me see if I can share my screen.
Jonathan Hobizal.
All right, let's see here. Let's see. Y'all tell me if it's gonna show up or not.
I don't know if Kel needs to give you permission or he already
Let's see here.
gives you. There you go. Zoom, zoom, zoom. No, no sponsorship yet, but
All right, so the first thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to pull up the actual record that we have. So I'm just pulling up my CRM, and I'm going to go so we know exactly which address we're working on. All right, so this is 19915 Timberline Lane. So I'm just going to copy this. And the very first thing I'm going to do is go into the Montgomery County records. So I'm just going to go into property search. See here, paste it in there. Already done a quick search here, but I just want to show y'all. So we can see here, this is the record right here. So I'm just going to go through and see, okay, the owners. So we know we have Brodus, that's the last name, and then Everett, Randall, and Cynthia Brodus. And I want to scroll down here at the bottom to see the deed history. And I know that they actually purchased the property on August 30th of 2004. Okay, so we have their name where the deed actually went into their name here. So I'm going to copy this, the last and first name. We're going to open up another tab. And so we know we have the owner of record, the address, all of that. So now I'm going to go into the county clerk record. So this is in Montgomery County. So I'm going to do Montgomery County clerk, real property records. So go to county clerk. Now this is where everything gets recorded. So all documents dealing with real estate, this is where everything is going to get recorded. I'm going to search the county records. And right here, I'm just going to log in as a guest. Or as a, let's see, log in as guest. I'm just going to paste in their name. So we got last name, first name.
Boom.
Go ahead and search. And do you remember what date they actually bought the property? That was what, 2004?
Yes.
So I'm going to scroll down here. I'm looking for the date of recording. So I got 2004 and I have the names right here. So this is who actually bought the property. So this is their name. This is the year that it was done. So you can see here we have the actual deed, right?
Right.
We have the deed of trust, and then we have a notice. So I'm just going to click right here to see this record so I can see exactly what was recorded. And I'm looking on this page for some information. So this is the actual deed here, back from 2004 when they bought the property. So Robert J. Sells and Ennis Sells sold it to the Broduses. So what I'm looking for is right here at the top. It says hold for Texas American Title Company. So that tells me that the Texas American Title Company actually closed this deal back in 04. And
Yes.
usually these numbers up here is going to be like their reference number. So we're actually going to call this title company and then reference this file number. One of these, we got to see which one it is. We got 1, 2, 3 numbers here, and they should be able to pull this file and actually have a physical copy of the survey that they can email to us.
Ooh.
Wait, I don't know which number, so I'm going to scroll through here. I got a couple pages here. So I see this number here, 663100206. Okay, so it's on all 3 pages. So more than likely, that's probably the file number right there, the 66310. All right, so now I'm going to go to Google. I need to find the Texas American Title Company. I'm going to go to Google Maps. We got Texas American Title.
They have a couple.
Yeah, and so let me check here. This should have been, I know this was Montgomery County, but I want to go to the last page to see where it was notarized. County clerk, Montgomery County. All right, so it really doesn't tell us, but let's see how many Texas American Title Companies there are. So you can see we have several of them.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start. Let's see. I guess we can try this first one.
The one closest to the property.
I'm gonna try this one, and at least maybe they can help me out.
Got it.
So I'm just gonna pick up the phone real quick. So let's see if we can. I need to pull up this file number. All right, let's see what we can find out.
Go kill it. Let's go, Jonathan.
Texas American Title, this is Stephanie.
Hey, good morning, Stephanie. This is Jonathan. I was calling, I'm trying to locate a survey. I'm not sure if you can help me out.
Okay, let me see what I have.
Do you
Your
need-
property address?
I have a file number if that helps from a closing that y'all did. I'm not sure which location, but I do have the file number.
What is that?
It's 663-100205.
Found. Let me try by the property address.
Okay, sure. We have 19915, and that's Timber Line, 2 words.
Finding that property, was it closed at Texas American Title?
Yeah, on the actual deed, it says hold for Texas American Title, and this was back in 2004.
Oh, okay. I wonder if it's on the old system. Can I place you on a brief hold?
Sure, yeah, no problem.
That's awesome. You're on mute, George.
You have to use microfilm like the old school in the library to look for the old.
This was 2004.
So not that bad, yeah. Not that old. Eunice.
Yeah, Kel, I know it definitely helps to have the survey.
So, just to explain, we don't need the survey to close unless the title
Sure,
requires.
sure.
That's to that old file.
Yeah. What is that email address?
It's Houston Title CS, like customer service, at texasamerican.com.
All right, I'm gonna repeat it back to you. So I have Houston Title and then CS at Texas or at texanamerican.com.
Texas American.
Texas American. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, perfect. So I just send them an email, and then what do I need to just put? Hey, I'm requesting a survey for.
I put your file number and the property address in the subject line and then just set your request. Survey.
File number and address and request. Okay, and how long does that typically take? Okay, no problem. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
How long was that gonna take?
She didn't really know. So, but we do have a contact there. Sometimes, I mean, like the last one I had to do, she was able to just email it right over. Because they had it on file, because I called the actual that location specific that had it. Which this one, there's probably at least 12 different Texan American title codes. So I guess the next step is we'll send them an email, the Houston Title CS at texasamerican.com, with the file number, the address, and just request a survey, and hopefully we'll get a response back. So that'll be, I guess, our next step. So, but yeah, so I've had to, I guess, go this route. But what I was saying, Kel, is that you probably definitely on your end, it's always good to have that survey, whether the lender requires it on your end or the title company requires it or not, just because at some point in time, whenever you turn around and sell it, someone's going to want that survey, right? So if you can at least provide that survey to the seller and or that retail buyer to satisfy the lender requirements for that future lender, then you're ready to go. And at least you can provide a survey, even if it's 20 years old. And then if that buyer requires a new one, then that's on them, right? So I definitely think it's a good piece of information to have if you can get it. So
Got it, got it. And so if the title doesn't require it, then we can close even without the survey. It's mostly if the lender typically is the one that's going to be requiring it.
yeah, and with the title company, with our A to B, or our, I guess our A to B to C close, um, the title company didn't even bring it up from the title commitment, which that means we're good. We're already clear to close, right? They're
Nice.
not requesting the survey, which is good. But if they did, at least we could get this, track it down, and provide it, and we'd be good to go. But yeah, we'll still go through the motion, right, to go ahead and get it so that you can have it as well. So, but yeah,
Awesome.
I have a
Thank
question, Jonathan, on that one. As coming from a wholesaler, is asking those questions. So obviously, it's best to, because at the end we are serving the buyer, even though we know each other in this transaction. But normally, you try to get all that information from the seller. That way, once you are starting the process, you can let the buyer know.
yeah,
We don't have a survey. What do you want to do? And then get the ball rolling on that end.
yep, yeah, and usually like 9 times out of 10, it's a non-issue, right? It's unless you're dealing with a retail buyer,
Hmm.
then you're going to need that survey or need to be able to pay for that survey. But yeah, whenever you're doing assignments, wholesales, double closes, or if you're selling to an investor, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to need it unless the title company runs into an issue.
Mm,
They don't have all the information, or that property hasn't been sold in over 30 or 40 years. Then yes,
right.
likely they're going to want that survey done.
Wow. Yeah.
you. Got it. So as an end buyer, especially if I've bought more retail and I bought more traditionally, right? I want a survey or like I mean that's the typical what the realtor would suggest to you to do it. I've bought land too before and straight out of auction, so there's really no survey, nothing.
Yeah.
So what are the rare cases that like, hey, I gotta have a survey even if the title doesn't require or there's no lender? Well, what are those rare occasions that you need it before you even
You
close?
really, it's not really a need, it's more of a want then. Like, hey, I don't need the survey because we don't need it to close. I just want the survey, right? Because maybe they have plans that they want to go build on it. So then that just opens up the conversation. Well, like, okay, well, that's fine. You can get a survey, or we can go try to locate one, or if you want to get one, you can order one. But yeah, it's more at that point in time, it's more of a want versus a need.
Got it, got it. Awesome, man. I don't think I have any more other questions. How about you, George?
No. Obviously, just my key takeaway. Obviously, it's because I do remember those are sometimes one of the questions. It is like when you are finally agreeing to in agreement with the price with the seller. It is asking maybe like other than asking for a mortgage and liens. Do you happen to have the latest survey?
Yeah, yeah,
Those are things that can help out the transaction go smoother. And obviously, if you've done business with the title company, you know what their requirements are to eventually make the deal smoother. And last but not least, obviously you have a good relationship with the partners that we are right now. Is kind of knowing how everybody works to make the next one smoother. But like you
Awesome.
said, it's no title needed with this title company, so it's a good sign. It's just all depending on the lender that you would be using at this moment, Kel.
yep,
Awesome. All
absolutely.
right. Thanks, Jonathan. Appreciate the lessons and yeah, hope y'all learn from this. We'll catch you on the next one.
Talk soon.